First of all, welcome, Ali. Welcome, Ali, to the Meetup Spot.
Awesome. Here, Nigel.
All right, all right. Thanks. All right. Thanks for responding to the invite, by the way.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, okay. All right. Let's start this off. Number one, tell me about yourself and your growing up story.
Okay, well, my name is Allison Blakeman. I am a currently a professional. I'm a Toastmaster, and I love to encourage and motivate, inspire other people. I'm currently working on launching my own podcast called Mic to Mic, Moments in Communication to Motivate, Inspire, and Connect Others. And growing up, Nigel, that's a very interesting story. Probably like most people out there, I was confused, angry, a misfit, didn't fit into the world, didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and just kind of struggled through life. And then through different situations, scenarios, I found out who I really was. Learned that motivation and inspiring, helping other people was very important to me. And that became a big mission and a big part of my life.
Okay, okay. You are known for your energy, authenticity, and encouragement, and you managed large technical teams and drove operational excellence in your leadership roles. How are you able to achieve all of that?
Yeah, like I said, I found that motivation really connect being motivation, listening to motivational speakers, reading positive nonfiction books, hearing other people's stories in life. And it said to me, hearing these stories of different individuals, how they overcome challenges, people didn't think they would amount to anything. And it gave me the courage and the inspiration to pursue my dreams. Not having the opportunity to attend college, I attended Life 101 the rough way, learnt through experience, hands-on training, and most importantly, learned from failures and mistakes. That teaches us so much in life, Nigel. There's so much that you can learn in a classroom, but there's so much more that you cannot learn in a classroom, and that is by living, actually doing, and day by day making mistakes so that you learn from those mistakes. When we make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. It's a learning opportunity to learn what went wrong and what you could do better, move on. And I started out my career actually in a call center, professionally in a call center where I become was on the phones for a while. Then they noticed and took notice of my positivity and encouragement and helping others that they asked me to be a mentor. From there, I was in a mentor position for quite some time. Then I went into the auditing department. Then in 2000, I made a switch into the telecom industry and actually went out of state from where I'm at in Ohio to Virginia to work. Worked in Northern Virginia for a while as a telecom installer. Had an opportunity to move south to Richmond, Virginia, where I was hired for a large CLEC competitive local exchange telephone company there. Started out as a technical installer, worked hard, and then I moved on closer to home as a tester in a test center for a phone company. A couple years after that, I moved into management and just perseverance, determination, positive attitude. I moved up, become network operations manager. And then in 2015, I decided to switch careers and I went into the software industry. Was a technical engineer for a software company for about 8 years. And then I switched over into account management where I currently am. And it's all about positivity, believing in yourself, taking chances, believing that you can do something, even if people say that you're not qualified or you can't do it. Apply for those roles and ask yourself, who really am I? What do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Believe in yourself and have the courage to take action and take action to make things happen, and your dreams can come true. So it's determination and discipline to do the things that need to be done so you can get where you want to go.
Okay, that's the determination and discipline, I guess, right? I believe.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So and it seems you changed careers a lot. Was it tough?
Tough changing careers, moving from telecom into software into the software industry, yes, because I had to learn an entire new industry. Excuse me.
Oh,
The funny
that's
thing
good.
about that is when I interviewed for that position, I walked out of that interview and I thought, well, that didn't go as I had hoped. I thought I bombed the interview. And then I get a phone call for the next round interview, then the next round interview, and then I went through 5 rounds of interviews and then was offered the job. What I found out later from the VP of the support department, and he told me, he said, when they interviewed me, the director was not all that keen at first on hiring me. And he said, well, Blakeman doesn't have the Linux and the software skills. And the VP said, no, but Blakeman has soft skills. We can train her to be we can train her Linux and Windows, but you can't teach the soft skills. And that comes down to having that positive attitude, believing in yourself, being motivated, being a kind person and open to constantly learning. And then I took off from there to be an engineer. And it's funny, when I moved into account management, I really wasn't intending to move out of the software engineer position because I was dedicated to a large client. But an account manager had left the company and they were looking to someone to fill the spot. And they reached out to me and said, hey, would you mind helping us out for a couple months while we fill this position? Because basically, you've already been doing this job and doing the role for a couple years now. And the technical account manager was basically just the secretary taking notes during the meetings. And I stepped into that role, and then it was like a duck in water. They created a position for me to step into that position.
Oh, okay. So at first you had soft skills, no Linux, no Windows, something like that.
Yep. Yep, I had no official. The only computer training that I had, Nigel, was a long time ago in high school. I had a basic computer class in high school. That was it.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, first of all, good on you for persevering on that. Okay,
Well, thank you.
you're welcome. So, uh, Ali, what is your vision and purpose in life?
What is my vision and purpose in life? That's a great question, Nigel. My vision, it depends on what topic, but for overall, my vision really is to inspire other people to embrace their truth, live without fear, and use their voice and their strengths to make change and become who they really are. So many times in life, we become who and what other people want us to be. So I like to encourage people to be themselves, to find their authenticity and who they are and their authentic self, and then grow and become who they really are. Something that I always have loved is there's a story from a movie, and I'll quote the movie. It was Rambo 3. And the star of the movie, Sylvester Stallone, was playing John Rambo, and he was at a monastery in Thailand or somewhere in Asia, and the colonel was trying to recruit him to come back into the special forces, and he said he didn't want anything of it. And the colonel walks into the temple where Stallone was working, and he said, look, he said, I'm gonna tell you a story about this guy. He said he found this stone and he felt it was a special stone and he drug it back to his cave and he started chipping away at it, and worked for months and months and months at it. And I'm paraphrasing and kind of making the story a little bit of my own. And he said he chipped away at it, and then finally, when he was done, he covered it up and he drug the stone out to the middle of the village and he uncovered it. And everyone said to him, wow, you've created this fantastic statue. And the sculptor said, I haven't created anything. The statue was always there. I just chipped away the rough edges. That's what kind of we are in life with we each have our own unique skills and abilities, and that's what I enjoy, helping people to discover those skills and abilities and to bring those out and for people to believe in themselves.
Okay. Okay, okay, that's beautiful. Okay, next is why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? Nigel, that is a great story because for many years, actually in high school, I was voted the shyest in my graduating class. I was shy. I wouldn't stand up and speak in class. I would take a 70, barely the bottom passing grade versus standing up and reading my work in class. And for many, many years, I didn't believe in myself. I was shy. I was backwards. I was awkward. I didn't believe in myself, had no self-confidence. And then through time and working very hard and discovering myself and making a lot of mistakes, embarrassing myself at times, I discovered that I had the ability and there was greatness within inside me. And that's what I see so many other people out there, Nigel, that doubt themselves and they say, I can't do it, or I'm afraid. And I encourage them, look, if I can do it, you can do it. And I encourage people to believe in themselves because I've always believed that one of the greatest waste is in a cemetery. I drive by a cemetery and you wonder how many unfulfilled dreams are there buried in there? How many people just went through life working a 9 to 5 job or being someone who and what someone else wanted and they never fulfilled their dreams? And that's what I like to encourage people in what I do with Toastmasters and being in an officer position and a mentor to brand new Toastmasters is to help them encourage themselves, find their voice and their story inside, find their greatness and help them to bring that out. Because I believe I've learned the hard way. And I found that if I can do it, other people can do it. And sometimes all people need is just someone else to believe in them, someone to have courage, or someone to have the courage to show them that they have the courage and the skills, and that someone believes in them that they can do it. And that can make all the difference in the world.
That thank you. Thank you. That was inspiring to hear. All right, okay, here we go. You served 2 decades of experiences in telecommunications and customer relationship, and now you are a client relationship manager serving Fortune 500 companies, I believe. What are the experiences and challenges of doing that?
The experience and challenges of doing that, Nigel, that's a great question. Experiences and challenges are working with diverse groups of people, people from all around the world. I've met people and also through Toastmasters, people all around the world, work with people, different time zones, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different cultures. And some of the challenges in that is basically just like any other career and any other industry where you work with people is different expectations, meeting clients and customer expectations, meeting supervisor, leadership, company's expectation, and trying to do the right thing and also meet certain goals. So it's fun. I enjoy working with people. And a story was my partner at one time got mad at me years ago and said, no one talks, no one pays you to talk. And then a while back, I said, you remember when you said that? And they said, yes. And I said, well, now I am paid to talk, and I'm paid pretty good to talk for a living. And that's kind of where my passion comes from. And one of my soft skills is I'm able to connect with people, communicate with them. And it's always some of the challenges are you do a lot of troubleshooting and find commonalities in issues, troubleshooting issues, being there to support people. Biggest thing is I've been on call for about the last 25 years where my cell phone clients and customers have my cell phone number. If there's an issue overnight or on the weekends, they call me. I would say that's one of the biggest challenges because always being available to people and to that they can reach out if there's a problem or a need that they can contact you and you'll solve the problem. I really enjoy what I do working with the different clients that I work with and my peers at my employment.
Okay, I guess what's tough here. Being available all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I received a text message at 12:30 last night and I was asleep I'm an early riser, so of course, I go to sleep early. And I text the person this morning, not when I woke up, but about 7 o'clock this morning, and I let her know and reminded her that after 10 p.m. you have to call me because I'm asleep and I won't hear a text message. And she was like, "Oh, I forgot," but we finally got a hold of somebody to help us. And it's just part of what I do, and it's become part of my life.
Okay. Um, okay. So, what kind of mindset did you have at the start, compared
At the
and
start,
now as well?
you have to walk in with anything in life, Nigel. Any career, anything, you have to have an open mind and look at everything and don't have a go into something with a biased opinion, whether if you're dealing with people or companies, because you don't always know that you don't always know the circumstances of what's going on or the reasons behind certain things. So whether you're troubleshooting, you go in with an open mind to try to find out what what the problem is, whether it was in telecom or in the software industry. You have to look at the symptoms of the problem and what the problem is, look at the symptoms, look for telltale signs and clues, and that leads you to find what the resolution is. If you go in believing something and having a locked mindset that you know what the problem is and this is what it's got to be, you could be proven wrong. So, like anything in life, you have to have an open mind, especially when working with people and talking with people, because we don't always know what's going on in the background in their lives, in their lives or in their career, things that they're dealing with, pressures of life, and having that open mind and the ability to learn and look at things from different angles and different levels of viewing really helps out in life.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, next, what should everyone need to learn when it comes to time management?
Time management, Nigel, that is my favorite topic to talk about
Okay.
because what is something that we all hear? We all hear of people say, I don't have enough time. I wish I had more hours in the day. I wish I was able to do that. People said, oh, well, I've got kids. Well, I take my kids to school. My kids have sports. There's always an excuse. And time management is how you manage your time and setting priorities. What people don't realize is whether you're Elon Musk or your or you or myself or anyone on the street, we all have 24 hours in every day. What makes it up is what we do with those hours and those times. In being in four different Toastmasters club, being a division director, working full time, being a partner, being married, having a child that's a senior in high school, and it takes up a lot of time. And people could say, I think a lot of people look for excuses that says, I would like to do that, but I don't have time. Time is standard. We all have the 24/7 to do with. It matters of how we look at it and what we prioritize and what we choose to do. It's easy to sit around on your phone and scroll for 3, 4 hours watching TikTok or YouTube videos or scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, or what have you. But if you could take that time and dedicate it to activities and plan. So that's what I do is I live by my schedules. I plan out my days. One of the biggest tips that I tell people, especially in employment, and if you have a busy day and you're trying to find time to do things at work, is always before you go to bed, look at your schedule the night before you go to bed. Plan out your day. You wouldn't go on vacation to the beach without planning, making hotel reservations, looking for sites that you want to see, restaurants you want to eat at, and making a plan. So why is that any different than our day? You know, you wouldn't go to the Outer Banks of North Carolina and just decide tomorrow morning that you're going to get up and drive to the Outer Banks, not knowing what highway you're going to take if you drive or if you're going to fly, not knowing the area and scoping it out. So that's what I believe we need to do with life. And it makes a real difference every day is planning out your day, planning out what you're going to do with your time and assign certain activities and certain tasks to that time. Just like you and I talking right now, we talked, we had meetings before, we set up a time to do that, we set up a time today to talk. And it's just like that with every activity. If you need to go grocery shopping, set a time to go grocery shopping. If you're trying to find time to read, set time on your calendar and stick to it to spend an hour reading a book or whatever activity you choose to enjoy. If you have a specific if you're being specific with your time, it'll make a complete difference in your life instead of just doing things haphazardly and as they come. So I do really love time management. I think that is one of the keys to life and the keys to successful people is they manage their time and they assign time slots to activities so that they can budget and manage their lives.
Okay, okay. That's good. That's good. So, what are your tips for time management?
Time management. My tips, Nigel, is just like I said, is to use a calendar, whether you use it on the phone, whether you use a notebook or a digital notebook, is plot schedule your life. You schedule doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, eye doctor's appointments. You schedule vacations. Why not schedule every activity of your life? Schedule times for dinner. There's times you can be spontaneous, but there's also times to be specific. For example, if people want to work on their speaking abilities and they want to join a Toastmasters club, find out when there is a meeting and schedule that time to be there. Find a time that works for you or readjust your time to be there. So it's all about priorities and then scheduling time to do it. And that's just it. You can use any calendar. You can use a pocket notebook. You can use a blank piece of paper, a simple blank piece of paper, and just start writing down a to-do list and then schedule when and what time and where you want to do that activity. That's what I do every single day.
Okay. Those are good tips. Okay, tell me about the zero inbox mentality.
Zero inbox mentality. It's something that I didn't know really was a thing and didn't know that it had a title until just about a year ago. But when I started out in the telecom industry and when I went into management, I spent an entire day out in the field with my technicians. I get back to the office about 5 o'clock and I've got over 400 emails. And my boss at the time would joke and say, what you don't get done between 8 and 5, you can get done between 5 and 8, meaning 5 p.m. to 8 o'clock the next morning. And he would laugh, but he was being serious that he was saying that he didn't want to take any excuses. So what I had to do is figure out how to balance all of these emails. And then that led to, at the time, I was one of the first managers at the phone company, at that particular phone company, to get to use the BlackBerry, where I could check my emails from my phone. And then over time, email has become a standard of communication. In my careers, I would receive reports, updates, multiple emails from different departments in the telecom and in the software company that I currently work for. To give you an idea, a month or so ago, I was on vacation. I was out of the office and I left my email untouched. When I come back Monday morning after being out for 5 days plus 2 weekends on each end, so that was being out of the office for 9 calendar days on a 5 day vacation. I logged into my email, Nigel, and I had 6,997 emails. I was 3 emails short of 7,000 emails in a work week. Good Lord, how can people keep up with the email? One of my clients, the gentleman shared his screen with me, and Nigel, in his inbox, he had 253,000 items in his inbox. He constantly complained that his Microsoft Outlook would crash. And other people that I've noticed had 9,000 emails in their inbox, 8,000 emails, 3,000 emails, or so forth. And then I noticed I would have 3 emails in my inbox. I would have 2 emails in my inbox. And then it dawned on me that it's kind of like playing a game of Tetris. If you remember the game of Tetris, the blocks are always falling. And you have to sort them out to make rows across to get that row to disappear to drop down. And it's a game, and that's like email. Email is everyone's favorite communication. Corporations communicate by email, send out notice, marketing. A lot of people have online bills, and we're just flooded and inundated with emails. And by having a zero box mentality is owning and maintaining your email inbox. and your email communication. You can go into your email and think, oh my gosh, where is that email that Nigel sent me last week? Where is that at? And you could try to search and scroll through 3,000 emails looking for that email. But if you reduce the clutter and you manage it and organize it, your email can be a great filing system. And I always look at it as like a challenge. It's a challenge for me now is I manage 13 different email accounts. And all of my emails, I'm always under 3 emails in each inbox at any given time because I use folders and subfolders and PSTs, and I sort and file in specific folders each email. So if I go from a month from now and I need to pull back up the email that you sent me today, I can go to a folder and know exactly where to find it, pull it up and reply to you. And a lot of people get lost in emails. I've had some clients where I've sent them an email and then a few days later I ask them if they've had a chance to review my email and they'll say, no, I haven't seen it. Let me go find it. And I'll have to end up sending them the email again so it appears back at the top of their inbox. But by managing and having that zero inbox mentality is you want to assign and use it as a filing system to file your emails. And I've just found that it really works and it makes my life so much easier. It makes my days organized. I stay on top of things and I rarely miss any follow-up emails or important emails. And I use it sort of as my to-do list. I keep items in my inbox and flag them until I'm done with the activity. And then once I'm done with the activity and close the loop on that communication or activity, then I file it away. But I also only keep the latest correspondence of an activity in an email. So if you and I and others have a thread going on for days, back and forth about the email, about a topic, I will only keep the latest email in my inbox because I can always scroll down that email thread, Nigel, and see every piece of communication back and forth there. So I call it like stacking, like a reverse stacking. That if there's 50 emails in a chain, why do you need all 50 emails in your inbox? You just need the latest email because that contains all the information. All the other ones are filed. And then if I need to go back and reply to one email in the thread, I can go into my folders, pull up that email and reply specifically back to that one person about that particular topic. It just makes your life easy because people are like, oh my gosh, I've got my Gmail account's got 10,000 emails in it. What do I do? How do I do it? You start by just clicking away and looking at the emails and determining first off, is this important? Do I need to keep this or delete it? That's the first step to getting through 10,000, 20,000 emails is go through and ask yourself, is this an email I need to keep or delete? And you go through and you delete all the noise. So when I had the almost 7,000 emails, that's what I did. Is I went through the emails and I sorted actually by sender, and I get a lot of reports, updates that are just generic. Some are regarding other clients that I don't handle, but my peers do. And I sort by sender, and then I remove all of the noise. When I removed all of the noise out of those almost 7,000 emails, I was left with 400 emails. Then I needed to go through and see. And then when I sort through and being out of the office for a week, I might find that there's 40 emails related to one topic. Why do I need to keep 40 emails in my inbox when I can keep one? So I take those 39 other emails and drop them in the folder for that client or that topic, and then I just have one email. At the end of the day, Nigel, I had 3 emails in my inbox. I focus that entire day on cleaning up, but it makes my life so much easier and it's so organized that you can stay on top of it and you don't have to dread opening your Gmail or your iCloud, Apple email, Outlook email, or what have you. You don't have to dread your email and you can feel organized. And then if someone asks you, hey, I remember this email that was going around about this topic, you could say, oh, I know what it is. Let me send that to you. And then boom, go into your inbox within less than 3 or 5 minutes, you can find it.
Okay,
I love,
okay,
I love,
okay.
I, th that is one of my favorite topics to talk about, Nigel, and I love helping people to become organized and master their inbox. I have plans that I would like to write a book on that as mastering their email because I feel that so many people suffer and have that problem with thousands and thousands of emails in their inbox. And a few simple tips and tricks and principles that I use could really help people to stay on top of their inbox.
Okay, well, first of all, that was a lot to talk about. Okay, a 10-minute warning. All right. You currently serve as district director for Toastmasters District 10 and currently a member and also a club officer in 4 clubs. Yeah, plus you've been a Toastmaster for 14 months and served 1 year as an area director. How did you juggle all these things?
That is a great question and a funny little unique story. So, what led me to join Toastmasters in 2024 was a situation that a VP at work put me in. I was invited to a call and I was with the CEO of my company, and I was told that I would only be there to back up the VP and if the CEO asked him a question that he couldn't answer. CEO was a few minutes late. He was upset about something. The VP freaked out and he said, "Ali, the floor is yours." And completely unprepared, completely caught off guard, and misrepresented why I was going to be in the meeting. I was completely unprepared. The meeting was a disaster. I'd had a friend, Nigel, that I'd seen on LinkedIn and such that posted about Toastmasters. So I reached out to him and I asked him, "Matt, tell me about Toastmasters." And he put me in contact with someone. And then I joined Toastmasters. And I just joined so that I could learn to be a better speaker and impromptu speaking and not be caught off guard in a situation like I was caught in prior. So I joined Toastmasters. Within 7 days, 7 days after joining, I gave my first speech. The eighth day after joining, I was asked to be an area director. Then I found other clubs like Online Presenters, Podmasters, and Mado Mavericks Toastmasters, as well as my home club, Crossroads, that I connected with. And then I was asked and served 1 year as an area director. And then this physical year, I was asked to be an officer in each of the clubs. So it comes down to the time management, and I encourage people to join Toastmasters, but you don't have to do what I did. I wasn't looking to be an officer, and I wasn't looking to be a district officer right off the bat. I was just looking to learn how to improve my speaking skills. But sometimes things in life find us, and certain situations can grow us, whether we realize it or not. And we can look at things as, instead of looking at it as chaos, we can look at it as an opportunity to grow. So I become an area director after only being a Toastmaster for 8 days. I had no idea what was expected of me, no idea what to do. And I just jumped in and started asking questions and then made a difference in the 4 clubs that were under me as an area director. So this year I decided to step up one more level and be an a division director for the Southern Division in District 10. And that's where I will help other area directors and then passing along what I learned to others to help them grow and make a difference in their clubs that they work with and help other individuals grow and become successful. I just looked at it as an opportunity. And then going back to time management, Nigel, I schedule my Toastmasters meetings. I meet Sunday through Wednesday. I take Thursday evening, like this evening, to do other things, talk to individuals like you, write, catch up on reading or any personal activities that I want to do. Friday, I start preparing for events leading up to the weekend. And it's all about what you enjoy doing. I enjoyed the camaraderie, the friendships that I made within Toastmasters, networking with other people, and especially learning from speeches. There are so many speeches and so many individuals that have positively impacted my life just through Toastmasters. I recently heard there was a speech by an amazing woman out of Chicago that's in one of my clubs. And the name of her speech was called 10 and 4 or 10 and 2. She is a grandmother and she had never had her driver's license. Never had her driver's license. She was a grandmother. And one of her grandchildren said, "Mama, I bet you $10 I'm going to get my driver's license before you do." And that challenged her. Now, why did she never get her driver's license? Because when she was young and at 16 years old, she was taking her driver's test and she was so nervous she made a mistake. The instructor yelled at her and said, "Stop the car. It's over. You failed. You never, you should never be allowed to have a driver's license and you will hurt somebody. You should never be allowed to drive. So she went all of her life believing that, Nigel. Went all of her life because of what someone said. And her story, that's one of the many speeches that I will never forget in Toastmasters. Her speech was called 10 and 2. What are you going to do? And she took the challenge, and now she has her driver's license and drive. But because of one person's negative words and their negative attitude, they impacted her for over 40 years that she believed that she didn't have what it takes to drive. And you'll find so many stories and so many things like that. And that's what people need in life is encouragement to find that they have the strength, abilities, and yes, they can do it.
Okay.
So
Uh,
that's I enjoy Toastmasters. It's played a I joined with the sole purpose of learning how to speak and prepare for speeches. And what came out of it was so many friends. I have so many friends, Michael, Fred, Annette, Sandra. I've made contacts with people that have written books. And I actually, back in May, got to interview a famous podcaster because of Toastmasters. And I didn't intend when I joined to see these doors get opened up, but they automatically opened up. And this gentleman that I got to interview back in May, I'd listened to his podcast for over 13 years. And I, certain situations happened. I reached out to him and he agreed to be a guest on Podmasters. And I got to interview him. And that was a dream come true for me because to me, he's like a celebrity. And it just completely changed my life.
that's good. Okay, Ali, I think we're almost running out of time. Let's just head into the last segment. We call it quick fire. It's simple. Answer as many questions in under 90 seconds. Are you ready?
I,
Are you ready, Ali?
I am ready, Nigel.
All right, here we go. Okay. Okay. Focusing on one thing or multitasking.
I have ADHD, Nigel, so multitasking for sure.
Okay. What is one word you can describe yourself?
One word to describe myself, Nigel, discipline. Discipline.
Ah, okay. One song that instantly uplifts you.
One song that instantly uplifts me is Learning to Fly by Tom Petty.
Ah, oh, that's beautiful. Favorite artist to listen to.
Right now, my favorite artist to listen to is Shinedown.
Oh, nice. Um, what is your mantra in life?
My mantra in life, Nigel, is if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Okay. Best place in Ohio for a good meal.
The best place depends on what you want to eat, Nigel. I live near Ohio Amish country, and there is an amazing pizza called Park Street Pizza out near Amish country. It's got to be the one that I would recommend anyone coming to Ohio.
Okay. Favorite food.
My favorite food, probably pizza.
Okay. Everyday items you can't leave without it.
Everyday items, I can't live without an ink pen and paper.
Okay. Favorite show to watch.
My favorite show to watch right now is I'm rewatching Suits, a legal
Oh,
show.
okay. That's it. Okay. 90 seconds is done.
Okay.
Let's do a screenshot. Oh,
Okay.
thank you for this episode.
You're welcome, Nigel. It's my pleasure. Anything I can
Any
do
any
to
feedback?
anything I can do to help you, and I hope you will come back to Podmasters so we can grow together, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Ali. I think it's I think it might go off in any second. So,
Okay.
any feedback? So while it goes off and it's before it goes off on its own.
None really. Just a pleasure. Thank you for picking me and reaching out and asking me to be on your show.
All right. Thank you, Ali.
Okay. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.